Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of our Let's Play of Crusader Kings 2. I'm Nerdstalgic, and we're learning together how to play Crusader Kings 2. So, in our last video, we had to remarry. I kind of explained some more things. We got caught up. We built a war chest. So now what we're going to do, I think, is we're going to declare war on Lagan here, who has 2.1k troops. We have 2.5, but what we're going to do is we're going to hire some mercs to make sure that we can get this thing did. And that'll give us Lagan, and it'll also weaken this guy for future conquests. He is our nephew, unfortunately, but, you know, dims the brakes, bro. Okay, so first things first, we declare war. I guess we could always raise our mercs first, but we're going to claim Lagan here. Council says yes. We've got 5 votes for, 1 vote against. The one dissenter is this guy, and the reason he is dissenting is because it's against one of the family. So he's against it because it's against our own family. Okay. Everybody else is like, yeah. So we're going to send that off. And then we're going to come over here and we're going to raise our personal levies. And then we're going to go down to our Merc tab, which probably should have, before you declare war, you should always check to make sure that there are the Mercs at the price point that you want. Because there have been times before, it is rare, but there have been times for me before where I have declared war, and then I went and I'm like, yeah, let me hire these mercs, and then they're all hired out. So you're like, okay, what do I do now? But we're in luck. So we're just gonna go with basically the cheapest ones per month that we can get our hands on. So we'll go with the Catalan band here. Catalan band. And they spawn in up there, but they're not gonna have a whole lot of morale. So we want to mass everybody up probably in Tuadmumain. Yeah. He is going to summon up his levies. He's going to get them together, and I imagine he's probably going to march over here on us. I mean, it would be really nice if we could get everybody over there and attack them before they can move, but it's not going to work out that way. So he's going to siege us down, but at the same time, we're going to be sieging both of his places down. So he's going to be sieging 1, we're going to be sieging 2. So you guys can kind of see how that's going to work out. Okay, we're going hunting. You've gathered your followers and your hunting dogs. You've saddled your horse and prepared your weapons. You're ready to set out to hunt the great white stag. Okay, so something you see me doing here, I'm actually waging war at speed 5, which is something I heartily do not recommend for a newer player. The moment before you should always declare war when it's paused in the first place. I mean, even I do that, but the moment that you declare war, you need to set the speed down to a speed where you can react to things comfortably. So, if you're really new to the game, I would recommend setting it all the way down to speed 1. Okay? Speed 1. That way you can react to what the enemy troop movements are without them coming at you and causing you to take some losses. So anyways, so right now I knew what would happen here. I knew that he would come in and he would just start sieging down, and that's fine. He is going to siege down through here, but what's going to happen is while he's sieging one county, we're going to be sieging him out completely, and he may come back across and attack. Like he may attack Lagan here, maybe. So if we look here, we can see Lagan has a strait across to Dyfed, but no river crossings here. So what'll happen is if he does decide that he wants to attack back into Lagan, we'll just reinforce. That's all we'll do. We will siege out these 2 counties pretty much completely, and then we'll come back over and we'll re-siege. We'll retake anything that he sieged out, and then we'll engage in his army, and that should get us to 100%. The reason that I'm going to keep this on speed 5 is because as you can see, I kind of know exactly what's going to go on in this battle. I know The computer is pretty predictable once you fight against them quite a bit. So you can definitely see what they're going to do. Usually, they will only engage if they're the only thing the computer cares about at this point in the game, or at this stage in the game's development, is numbers. That's the only thing it looks at. It doesn't, I guess, have the capability to check for terrain. It doesn't any of that. So that's the only thing the computer looks at is numbers, numerical advantage. So generally, I knew that the computer would not try to engage a stack of 4,000 with only 2,000 because that would be ludicrous. Although I have seen the computer do some very, very silly things before. So, okay, our hunt did not go so well. You spend weeks in the wilderness searching for any trace of your prey, but are forced to return empty-handed. You are sure that no one's impressed by your failed adventure. So we're just going to go ahead and lose the prestige because we don't want to become arbitrary. Is that the host up there? What's going on up here? Yeah. Okay, so there's a host that's going to be taking over Tiro Gain, maybe. Okay, our marshal is giving us that levy reinforcement event, which is pretty good considering that we're at war. And when you're at war and you're sieging, you're going to naturally attrition off some troops. Also, you can get random events that can cause you to lose some troops as well. So, my liege, since I arrived at Tuad Main, there's never been a shortage of soldiers reinforcing the troops stationed there. Under our guidance, they believe fame and fortune awaits them. So, very good. Very good. So you can see, even though he started his siege first, our sieges are actually kind of pulling ahead of his sieges, and that there's a lot of factors that go into that. Commanders. Okay, the anti-pope died. Commanders and troop size, and you know what the county is like, what their fort level is, etc. So, but yeah, we're pulling ahead on him here. I think what'll probably happen is I feel like he's going to siege this down, and then he's going to turn and he's going to try to attack Lagan here. That's what I think. So, one child lacks a childhood focus. So this is Eogan MacCormack, who is just a courtier. He's a hunchback. So let's, since he's a courtier and we're trying to, I don't know, like, if you look at the wiki's like, use humility often. And the reason that they say that is because if they get timid, you can turn timid into content. And you want content people so that you can give titles to them. But I think early on, a better strategy is to try to get people who are strong and geniuses. So let's go struggle. I mean, doesn't it kind of make sense that he would have to struggle anyways? Because he's got a hunchback, so people are going to be making fun of him. And, you know, we'll give him struggle. So, little RP there. So we want to try to finish up this war before too long because we are losing money right now. We're hemorrhaging quite a bit of money per month due to the fact that we have mercenaries hired. We are going to be getting some money back whenever we complete these sieges. Don Dubon's justice has brought peace to a troubled province. Fewer crimes are committed and fewer complaints are heard in the province. The peasants have never been happier. Very good. So this is a random event that you can get whenever you have a good steward. So he is praised. We praise him for his justice. So you can see we got 15 gold from that siege. Basically, once you siege a holding, you take all the gold that is protected by the holding. So we got 15 more gold. So that'll pay for our mercs for like 1 month. But we're about to get another siege down too in Legthen. My liege, I believe that one of your vassals can be discouraged from associating with the conspiratorial factions if proper leverage is obtained. How do you wish to proceed? Well, I don't. Yeah, we're gonna not do anything because I'm not really afraid of all that. Hey, we got another victory. 16 more gold. That's good. What's this? Range betrothal. Oh, well. If you right-click messages, it automatically dismisses them, and I accidentally right-clicked it. One children lacks an education focus. To Mayor Nick Bryan. So this is our oldest granddaughter. She picked up Curious, and that's it. So we're gonna give her the stewardship. Nah, we're gonna give her Diplo, I guess. We're gonna give her Diplo, and we're not gonna assign her an educator because we do not want. Actually, yeah, we will assign her an educator, but we do not want anybody that can intervene on Curious. Do we have any? We have an underhanded rogue. We have a charismatic negotiator. I guess that might be the way to go. My half-brother. Go spend some time with your uncle. Okay, it's same event again. If he was in a faction, which he's not. Oh, he actually is in a faction. Oh. We can click this threaten the vassal. And basically it will keep him out of factions. Sure. We'll do it. We'll threaten him. Just to show you guys what happens. So we're gonna threaten him, right? So basically this is us saying, hey, I know you're factioning, and I want you to stop. I'm your king. Honored King, I ask your forgiveness if I've done something to offend. I obviously wouldn't dream of associating with any factions conspiring against you or your enlightened rule. So he backed down. But we do have the negative of he gets a -2 opinion to us for quite some time, 10 years. So, but he will not faction. He won't start factions. He won't join factions. So this should disappear. Yep. Which I wasn't, the thing was, I wasn't really too scared of that faction because it's only him. Okay, so they did siege down this. And, nope, he's actually going to Desmoine. Interesting. Well, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, our son had a son named Murchad. Okay, he's not particularly promising. We may have to go down there and engage their army for too long. Okay, yeah, got a good amount of gold from that second level holding. Usually the deeper you dig, the more gold you get. Okay, 13, not as good. So now for the third level holdings. This should be the last 2 holdings that he has here. As you can see, mercs are very expensive. We're losing 15 gold per month while we have these mercs hired. And you absolutely do not want to go negative while you have mercs under your command. It's better to just let the mercs go. Because if you have mercs under your command and you go negative, they will turn against you. There's a very, very high chance. Okay, so he already wants peace. Dear uncle, peace be with you. We surrender under these terms. King Murchad of Mumu gains the county of Lagan. We gain 100 prestige from war contribution, and he loses 100 prestige. So even though we were not at 100% war score, he still wants to make peace. So I accept. That way we can get rid of these mercs. So what we can do here is, I think this is the, yeah, Catalan band. We just click disband. Boom. And then we just disband the rest of our army too. And very good. So now we took that. This belongs to us. So now we have our full allotment of counties that belong to us. Very good. We have 4 counties now. We need 7 to become King of Ireland. 7. Title loss on succession. County of Lagan. Domhnall McMurchad. No, I don't think so. I think that should go away. We'll see. Alright. Yeah, that should just go away. We could change a law here. We would really like to get our centralization up. So far we have 2 supporters. Oh, well, that should go through then, because we will vote for it. The 2 supporters will vote for it, and then that's a tie always goes to the king. So we want this so that we can hold an additional county, and that will be important if we end up taking this county. So yeah, we're gonna do that. I'd also like to start working up the status of women as well, so that women can hold positions in government. So we're going to go ahead and fire that off. It should go through. Yeah, very good. Very good. And now we cannot do another law for 5 years. So in 5 years, what we need to do is we need to try to probably get either medium centralization or go ahead and start bumping up status of women. Probably medium centralization before status of women, because I can see a scenario where we're going to end up expanding again before too long. I mean, Ostriage here, if he ever loses his alliance, he's 59, he's 54. If he ever loses this alliance, we probably want to go ahead and push this guy's claim, just so we can grow our kingdom. Even though it will make this guy a little bigger, I think it's probably still worth it. And he's still not going to be a threat to us. So right now, even though we took this county, it's still showing our max at 25-25. And the reason for that is, if you look over here, we can see here is Leyland, which is the capital of the county. And you can see right now, 0 levies out of it. And the reason for that is you're not going to get any levies out of it until it's back up and going, basically. So, which shouldn't take an awful long time. All right, let's go ahead and unpause so we can make some money. Received requests for additional funds from my spymaster Dubgal. He is worried that it's too easy for spies to make their way inside your home and wants to take precautionary measures against hostile operations. Can we trust you, Dubgal? We lose 8.12 gold. One or two options will happen. So we're going to get an event. It's either going to be a good event or a negative event, I guess. Or we can just do this, but that'll make him like us a little bit less. So yeah, we'll spend the gold. Sure. Couldn't hurt to be a little safer. I've done this a few times, and the first time I did it, I got guard dogs, which was cool. And then the second time I did it, I can't remember what I got, but I don't think it was nearly as cool as guard dogs. But I don't think it was a negative event. Oh, well. Okay, we just died. So, our new heir is Fursu McBrien. Okay, that's our first son. Murchad's no longer Marshal. Yeah. Concobar is no longer Chancellor. So he died a natural death at 57. So it's a really good thing that we pressed that claim when we did, or we would have lost it. Alright, let's take a look at our new guy here. So, stats, he's decent in Diplo and Marshal. He's pretty lacking in stewardship, but early game, not as big of a deal. I mean, it does hurt us on tax income. Intrigue is pretty low, and so is learning. But that's okay. We will probably end up going... We'll probably end up going hunting focus again. That's what I'm thinking. Because early on, those levies are just going to trump everything. Everything. And you can get just that martial score really ramps up those levies fast. So I bet we'll probably go hunting again. So whenever your king dies, it's very, very important that you always pause the game, like I didn't do there. So when the moment that you see it die, the game will pause for you, right? But after you clear all those pop-ups, it will unpause. Unless you go ahead and hit the space bar. So when you see that king death pop up, just go ahead and hit the space bar. It's not going to unpause it. In fact, it's going to make sure that it stays paused. The reason you want to, when your king dies, it can be very nasty. So you want to kind of like look at things. You want to look at your kingdom and your vassals and all things like that. So why don't we do that in the next video? Even though we're pretty small, so it's not going to be a huge deal. Successions are not a big deal when you're small like this. They're a much, much bigger headache when you're larger. So we'll take a look at that in the next video. So thank you guys so much for joining me, and until next time, game on.